Hey guys, thanks for joining us on this week's King Cat Tournament Trail. We're here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri on the Mississippi River, and we've got some exciting things ahead.
So stay tuned for more action.
Max, could you tell me a little bit about Colgan Carp Solutions?
So we are an Asian carp processor out of Western Kentucky. We specialize in mostly lobster bait going up to Maine. We do some in Louisiana for crawfish bait. We're looking to expand a bit into the catfish world. We know Asian carp makes up a big part of their diet naturally, so it's a good bait. We know it works. We just want to get it in the hands of some badass fishermen.
Awesome. I'm also from Kentucky, on Kentucky Lake Barkley area, and I know the last few years they've been overrun there. Where do you usually catch them?
So Kentucky Lake and Barkley Lake are the main source of the fish. We also receive some fish from the Mississippi, but the focus is in those two lakes. I see 10 to 20,000 pounds per day, and we're gradually increasing. So
awesome. Well, I know a big part of this is about conservation, so can you tell me a little bit more about what you're trying to achieve or let the public know a little bit more?
Absolutely. So they're a major problem. They make up a huge percentage of the biomass in the lakes. So it offsets the balance quite a bit. It affects catfish, bass, you name it. So it's affected the local area. There's that issue. So the more fish that we pull out, the more stable the ecosystem is, and the better the fishing. So we're here for the fishermen.
So what do you think's next for your company?
Well, catfish. Catfish. We'll see how it does in the tournament. We're going to hand some out today and see what the guys do with it.
Thank you so much for joining me on the King Cat Tournament Trail.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Can I have you state your first and last name and where you're from?
Yeah, my name's Les Thompson. I'm from Hayti, Missouri.
Gabe Staggs, Missouri.
Greg Staggs, we live here in Jackson.
Yeah, Brad Boggs, Columbus, Mississippi.
Justin Jones, Columbus, Mississippi.
Lindsay Sample, Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Awesome. So what is y'all's home river? Mississippi?
Yep, right here.
Home river is the Mississippi River.
Mississippi River.
The Tennessee Tom Bigby.
Tennessee Tom Bigby.
What makes the Mississippi River unique?
Oh my goodness, it changes every year. It floods every year, so the bottom changes, the sides change, everything about it changes.
I would say the current. You know, we fish a couple other big, large rivers, and they're always slower. The current here is always the thing that separates it from the others.
Have you guys done any pre-fishing here on the Mississippi River?
Yeah, we did it today.
So what did you guys learn that maybe you didn't know before?
The water is very low, very low.
Have you ever experienced that before on this river?
Well, like I said, most of the Mississippi River that we fish is south of here. So even when the water's down low down there, it's still 60 to 80 foot deep. So up here, we're still trying to get acclimated to the 20 to 40 foot range. But I think we found some fish. Do I think it's enough to win? We'll just have to see.
What kind of weather are you hoping for tomorrow?
Well, I'm hoping for no rain, obviously. Soft wind doesn't hurt anything, up to 10 or 15 miles an hour. Don't hurt the river much unless it's coming from the south. Any type of weather will be fine.
Right.
Sunny and bright, yeah. Just as long as it's hit. Hopefully it'll be 3 days after the cold front come through, and they'll be biting, hopefully.
What kind of weather are you guys hoping for tomorrow?
Sunny, not no rain. Every time I come to Missouri, I get rained out.
I'm hoping 80s, and that's what it's supposed to be, and not a lot of wind.
So what challenges do you think you may face tomorrow?
Tomorrow, the challenges will be there's going to be a lot of good fishermen here.
Yeah, the really good fishermen that are here. This event is going to bring out some of the world-class fishermen, and going up against those guys is going to be a little awe-inspiring, but it'll really challenge us, and it'll be we're looking forward to it.
Best of luck to you guys. Thank y'all so much for joining me. We'll see you on the water tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Lonnie Fountain. This is my brother Lonnie Fountain. We're from Jasper, Georgia. We've caught 5 fish so far. Haven't got any big ones yet, but we got good hopes. We got a special rig that we use for skipjack. We use 2 hooks in them. We just let it hit the bottom and pick it up a little bit. Just let it walk down the bottom, way back behind the boat. Conditions like this where the water current is slow enough that we can bump, that's where we would like to fish. If the water is real high, then we try to find a deep hole and suspend fish over it. It don't matter what size equipment you got. We started out with a little 14-foot John boat with a little 8-horse motor with a pull cord on it. But we've been blessed enough to get us a nice rig, nice setup. But that's not what catches fish. Persistence and patience is what catches fish. The Tennessee River and the rivers on this, it's got multiple lakes on them, is pretty consistent. Water level is pretty consistent. You can get a pattern, you can fish it all year long. The Mississippi River is a whole different ballgame. This river can change in an hour's time. It can drop and the fish will be gone. The fish will be stacked up in one spot one day and then they'll be gone the next day. When you got a big fish in the live well, I always keep that pump circulating. If you turn that pump off when it's hot water, when it's hot weather, you'll forget about that fish being in there. In an hour's time, you look in there and he'll be belly up. So always, when you got a fish in there, keep that thing circulating. If you don't have a good enough battery to do that, make sure that's an upgrade. And we keep oxygen in there, running to it. When we get our first fish in there, we turn that oxygen on 1/16. And we let that thing circulate all day long with fresh water and that oxygen coming in there. If you keep them fish oxygenated good and the water circulating good, they'll be good and alive. As good or better when you put them in there. Even if you bring in a big fish and it's tired and you're going to release it, you can put him back into that live well and get him oxygenated back up and then turn him back loose. You got a lot better chances of surviving. I'm Doug McAnally, and basically been a tough day so far today, but we still got a couple hours, so we're just gonna hang in there and go after it.
I'm Matt Russell, same thing, just hard day. We won't give up though until the last minute. We'll push it to its limit. The techniques we've been using today, we started out at anchoring this morning in some spots up behind some wing dikes that had some 40 and 50 foot of water. Marked a lot of good fish, and nobody wanted to play and eat the bait. So we came all the way up here, made a 30-minute run, got some slack water in the back and drug back out of these sloughs back here. A lot of takedowns, a lot of small fish that won't hook up. So we're out here on our last straw, anchoring heavy current, heavy structure, trying to see if there's something, maybe pull a flathead out of it if we can.
There's not a lot of structure in this river. I mean, it just gets washed away. It never hangs around. So you can find it today and come back tomorrow, it'll be gone.
A lot of sand.
A lot of sand. Like this river here, right in here, this is the first time we've ever been on it. The baits we went in the water this morning was this morning.
Unfortunately, we pre-fished a little too far down past boundaries and found some fish down there, but rules are rules.
We're gonna work back down the river back towards the boat ramp, and we saw a couple places we wanted to check on the way back. just see if we could find something else. We've been trying to find some slack water that had structure on it because we feel like the fish will be there if we can find it. We just hadn't had any luck yet finding it.
This river's super low. And everything usually where the fish would be is dirt and sand right now.
Believe it or not, Wheeler's our home water, but we had a blast at Carlisle on the channel cat deal.
Yeah, we whooped them on it. We whooped them channel cat all day long.
We whooped the channel cat all day long.
It was fun.
And, but I would say other than our home water that Carlisle's been by far our favorite. We still talk about that one.
It's like a nice change and a break from what we're all used to. It's kind of like the crappie tournament of the catfish world. I mean, a bucket.
Got a bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, show them that monster.
Never know when you might have to go on the river, so it's always good to have one in there.
Welcome back to another segment of Catfish 101. Today I'm here with Trevor Justice, and we're going to be talking about rods and reels. So Trevor, tell me about the common types of rods and reels you see on a catfishing boat.
You know, there's two main types of reels that you'll see. You'll see a spinning type reel, or you'll see a bait casting type reel. As far as rods go, there's a plethora of different type of rods and lengths and actions that they'll have. They'll mainly have a heavy action rod or a medium heavy action.
So in what situation would you choose to use different rods or reels?
You know, there's different techniques that our anglers will use. There'll be drifting or dragging baits where you'll want to use, you know, a little stiffer maybe type rod, or they'll be using a technique that they call bumping, which is going backwards with the current and bumping the rods, and they'll use their favorite type rod for that as well.
So what kind of rod and reel would you use to drift?
So if you're going to be drifting or dragging, you may want a little flimsier type rod, just so when you're dragging over the stuff, your rod will kind of give a little bit. If you're doing bumping and stuff, you may want to have something that's don't have as much action, so as soon as that catfish grabs a hold of it, you can set the hook and be able to handle that catfish.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with the viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in to this segment of Catfish 101. Stay tuned for more on this episode of King Cat.
I'm Brad Box from actually a little town north of Columbus, Mississippi called Caledonia, Mississippi. This is Justin Jones, my partner. We're both, like I said, we both grew up together. Started out this morning, we've been bumping, B&M Pro Staff bumping rod. We bumped for probably about 3 or 4 hours. And I mean, we couldn't get no bites, so I think we caught three small fish on it. So, I mean, the bites that we got, we were having to present it to them real slow. And, you know, we're actually trying to do a little bit of anchor fishing, getting on the inside of the current seams, maybe trying to catch some backwater. We found out that the fish that we actually marked have been in the rocks. So, I mean, that's why we're retying rigs. We're actually trying to fish over in the rocks to see if we can't, you know, present it to them just a little bit slower. So, but last time I come up here, the river was up. And, I mean, I think we bumped pretty much just the end of rock dikes. But now the water's so low, I mean, you can tell the rock dikes, I mean, they're way out of water. So, I mean, you know, I think the only structure that these fish have right now is the rocks, and that's why we're targeting, you know, the rocks. You know, it's low. I think I talked to a buddy of mine that's fished Helena yesterday down there, and he said they're having the same problem there. A cold front come through, and it just slowed the bite down. I think we just lost about a 20, 30 pounder that broke off thanks to the rocks, but, you know, we're gonna keep pounding away at them and see what we can do. What we're using the Team Catfish hooks. We also use Boss Cat 8/0 circle hooks. We're using Carolina rigs on some, probably 3 poles. The other 3 poles we're using elevated. See if we can elevate that bait up a little bit more. Because of the fish that we've actually marked, they've not all been hugging the bottom. So actually the one that we missed was on an elevated rig, and the ones the one that we caught was on an elevated rig. So, you know, that's what I think is what we're fixing to change them all to, just to see if we can present that bait a little bit higher and a lot slower. Well, I mean, you don't have to have a big fancy rig to go catfishing, you know. I mean, some of the top anglers, you know, that fish with us, you know, they'll be in, you know, a smaller boat. It's just, you know, technique, you know, just pay attention. If you go with somebody, pay attention to what they're doing. You know, get on YouTube. You know, a lot of these guys, Chris Souders, other people, I mean, they got YouTube channels that, you can actually learn what we're doing out here. So what we're doing is we're using a 3-way swivel, just like this right here. We're actually gonna cut. We just cut a Carolina rig off. And what this is gonna do is we'll put a weight line on the bottom. We'll probably put about a 4 or 5 foot weight line on the bottom. And what it's gonna do is as that weight line is on the bottom, it's gonna hold that bait up in the air 5 foot plus a little bit more. Usually when we grab them, we pick them just like that right there. I mean, you might take a whooping, but try to support them as much as you can. I mean, the difference how big they are, what size they are. Always support underneath their belly. So, I mean, if you hold them right, it's just like holding a big baby. You might take a whooping, because I've taken a bunch of them, but I mean.
Why it's important to hold them horizontal, that gravity pulling that belly.
Yeah, I mean, if you're holding them straight up, you'll see this belly, it starts hanging down. I mean, it's actually pulling the innards apart on the inside of that fish. It's just like us. If you get in one of them machines where it stretches you upside down, you feel like all your innards are coming upside down. Well, I mean, same thing for a catfish. And I mean, when we get done weighing these fish, we plan on putting them back so these catfish can get big. And if we don't take care of them, they're not gonna last. Like I said, we love the sport of catfishing, and this is why right here. They might not be big, but we're working on getting them bigger, so.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Cabela's King Cat Tournament Trail, coming to you live from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, on the banks of the mighty Mississippi.
Looks like they had their camouflage boat camouflaged. We couldn't find many people. We ran a lot of miles today looking for anglers, didn't we?
We did. We ran to the south end of the cutoff for our territory for this particular tournament, and then came north and drove nearly 20 miles or more before we encountered our first angler.
Now, are you guys pulling in here with a 3-fish limit today? 3 healthy blues, it looks like. 3 healthy blues. 3 lively ones. That's a pretty fish right there.
Well, congratulations, guys, on your 3rd place finish. How'd it go today?
We had a good time. We caught a lot of fish out there.
Awesome. What was your total weight?
93.7, wasn't it? 93, I think 93.7. Caught a lot of fish almost identical. All 30-pound fish, around 30, 35 foot of water, and a little bit slower current. It paid off for us. Had a lot of issues, but just kept pushing on and pulled us out a 3rd out of it.
All right, we got a youth angler on this boat.
So we got a big fish contender in here. Oh, Ben, do we ever. What a giant. Attaboy. What a nice, healthy Mississippi River monster right there. Big old catfish.
New big fish, 65.36 pounds.
What a dandy.
Congratulations, guys, on your 2nd place finish. How'd it go today?
Today was a lot better than yesterday. We didn't catch nothing yesterday. We had a pretty good day the day before that. Caught 3 fish early, and then the rest of our fish come after lunch today.
You guys run into any obstacles that you weren't expecting, and how did you overcome those?
It was just a little bit slower bite than what we thought, especially when the fish started coming early and often, and then all of a sudden we hit a window, hit a door, and slowed down from there, and then we just had to keep grinding all day long.
Just the grind of the grind.
So what did you guys learn from this tournament that you may take to the next one?
We just don't stop. Whenever it's tough, you just got to keep on fishing and grind it out. That's what it is. And if you quit, you usually don't catch fish, and just grind it out. That's what I'd say.
Thank you guys so much for joining me, and congratulations.
Let's take a look. This is Tom Petrowski and Damian Clark.
Hold it to the camera. What a fish.
Man, another
That's
good
another
one.
Good one. This is going to be quite the stringer stump. This may top the century mark for us today. £147.37. That's a
fine stringer of fish. Thus our new leaders, more than 50 pounds above their competitors.
Congratulations, guys. How'd it go today?
It was a little tough this morning when we started, and as the day went on, we made a couple of dramatic changes, and it seemed like the bite picked up quite a bit.
How are you feeling about that?
Oh, great, man. I'm fishing with one of the best in the nation, bro. Tom Petrowski, bro. He lived up to his name today, man. He put us on some fish.
Well, that's awesome. Tell me a little bit more about the obstacles y'all hit and how you adjusted to overcome those.
Yesterday we started pre-fishing, and we was actually probably about 65 miles downriver, and we couldn't find anything. Fished all day, never put a fish in a boat, headed back, and he was like, well, what are we going to do? And I said, we're not going to do what we did today. So we just decided on, we actually put in at Thebes, and then we started fairly close to there, and then like I said, it just wasn't working out for us, so we made a 40-something mile run and managed to get on some fish.
Awesome. Well, is there anything you learned today that you might take with you to the next tournament?
Absolutely. This is the biggest thing. You can't give up, man. You're just one bump away from that big fish. You got to just keep pounding it. Yesterday we got skunked. We licked our wounds, got out there today fighting, and we come up when we caught a lot of fish today. Good quality fish.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on this week's episode of the King Cat Tournament Trail. We had an awesome turnout here in Cape Girardeau. First place winners had over 147 pounds of catfish. It was completely awesome. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next week.